Good morning, team. Welcome aboard to our weekly recap. It's being done this morning. Usually do it overnight on Sunday, but I figured that if we did it too late night, most wouldn't watch it. So since it's nice and bright and early, and you're probably just having your first cup of coffee, good morning. Let's go ahead and do the recap. Glad to be with you. My name is Carlos Garcia. I'm the founder and CEO of GAR Capital. It is Monday, September 16th, 2024, 7:30 in the morning. Good morning, everybody. It's time to get back to it. Happy Fed Week. Looks like we're going to finally get our rate cuts. The question is, how much do we get? 50 or 25? And right now, the market seems to be leaning towards 50. But there's one thing I've noticed about the market. If it doesn't get exactly what it wants, it has a tantrum. Always, at least recently. So let's go ahead and recap the week. We'll preview this upcoming week. Don't worry, I will do another morning note at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time if anything does change, which more than likely it will. Let's go ahead and get started. Right now, Dow futures are up 93 points. The Nasdaq is down 75. Apple was downgraded today, so that's down about 2% this morning. That's hurting the Nasdaq. S&P down 0.05%. The Russell is up this morning, up about 0.58%. The dollar index 100.68. We're still gunning for 100. The VIX 1713, up 3.44%. Keep an eye on the VIX. We want to stay below 20 if we want higher asset prices. Crude oil still below 70, up 1%. Gasoline up 1% as well. Gold pretty flat, 2609. Silver 3132, up 0.79%. Bitcoin and Ethereum are both down. Crypto is still down. Again, something I've talked about already in terms of Bitcoin. I still expect additional weakness, even with a rate cut this week. Here's exactly for Bitcoin. Again, I want to start with Bitcoin. This is the downward channel, very similar to Tesla, very similar to AMD. If you guys have been trading those names with us, and you can see the downward channel here, you're still stuck in range. The only benefit here on the future side of Bitcoin is that you're above the 200 MA. So we've been bouncing above that. I'm going to place an alert at 58K. If we break and settle below there, yes, Coinbase, BITO, Riot, and Mara, they're going to be the four stocks that I'll be watching for a short. I still expect us to get to, or at least hit the wick lows of August, which is right around 49,700 to 50,000. So yes, I hate to be this guy, but I'm bearish on Bitcoin short term. September and October are horrible seasonal months for Bitcoin. Again, just writing the script on that one. Now, again, anything could change. Maybe we get 50 basis points and the market cheers, celebrates, and everything goes higher, which is definitely possible. But what I expect personally is Bitcoin to continue to fall, get down to 49,896. That was the January highs of this year that rejected. So we retest that again, and I expect us to bounce there. So if you're someone who's dollar cost averaging Bitcoin, none of this really matters. But if you're someone that's looking to trade Bitcoin proxies, BITO, Coinbase, Riot, Mara, those kind of names, yeah, we want to keep an eye on Bitcoin in the short term. I want to take advantage of that weakness, which is what I expect moving forward. All right, so let's go ahead and get to rather quickly to the S&P 500 futures. We're getting close to all-time highs. Oh boy. Now, there's a reason why. We just went to a new contract, the Z24 contracts. That's December. So you may see that we have a gap up. That is just a differentiation in price from the September contracts to the December contracts. We've had this many times before, just like in June, where we pushed higher on a gap up. And guess what? It filled. It filled literally the next month. So more than likely, based on historical precedent of the last time we had a contract rollover, Friday is OPEX. Friday is triple witching. This is where we're getting the contract rollover. Just understand that more than likely, within a month, you will get this gap fill at 56.44. Okay? So if that were the case, 57.21 is our resistance on the S&P for now. Take a look at SPY. I went ahead and posted a couple of names on the actual server that we're going to keep an eye on in terms of stocks I'm watching for the week. Now, we also have our watches and charts for our members. So that's for our options members. If you are interested in joining, make sure to go to our website, www.gar.capital. Okay. So let me show you the website rather quickly. Here we go. www.gar.capital. If you're interested in joining, make sure to click memberships and you have all the breakdown. We have premium annual, monthly, and a lifetime. This is for individuals who may not want to be taught, but just wants to be on the server and get exactly what they want, which is the signals, the information, and all that. There's just some members out there like, I want masterclass, but I don't want to be taught. I just like the lifetime signals because I love GAR. There's your access right there. We've gotten a lot of those people who are just like, I just don't want to pay masterclass because I don't want to be taught. I just want the signals. There's some who just like annual plans because they save 67%. And then the premium, there is a deal right now. It used to be 300, now it's 250. The lifetime is 3,000. But again, that's one and done. You don't have to do anything more. You're all set. We used to have, well, just to give a heads up, I started this company 10 years ago. So, well, in October 14th will be 10 years. Just to, I'm just thinking about this. Masterclass. Masterclass back then, guys, was $2,000. And that was back in 2014, 2015. 2015 is when I started, 2016, I believe. But the start of the company was 2014. Those who signed up then still have access to lifetime access to now. So they paid the 2 grand. They got taught back then. I was a teacher. Now we have multiple teachers. With that being said, all that savings that they've had rocking with us for 7 years, imagine, all taken care of. Never had to charge again. And we're here for lifetime. I'm not going anywhere. Yes, I have maybe been sick the last couple of days, last week, but I still love what I do. I still want to do what I can. And you have a whole team, guys. It's not Carlos Inc. for a reason. I talked about that on the podcast. If you are interested and listening to the podcast, I break down a little more about the Fed in the podcast this time. So technicals are here. We're going to talk more about kind of the market and what I see during the podcast hours or podcast time. That's after the market is closed. I'll do another one today and the rest of the day. So my job now is just to give you guys as much information as possible so you guys can make your decisions. Obviously, we're going to keep an eye on the market as we go along, but just wanted to give you guys that information. QQQ, SPY, IWM, watching all three. Broke it down on the actual blog. If you want to take a look, make sure to put your alerts. Let's go to SPY, and you could see 564.21. I have an alert there. 565, let's call that the resistance level for now. 1, 2, 3. Are we going to triple top? That really depends on the actual reaction from the Federal Reserve rate cut. We're going to expect that this week on Wednesday. It's either 25 or 50. Market's leaning 50. I expect the market's going to be disappointed. Sorry. I think we're going to get 25 and the market's going to pull back. That's just me. This is one of the very few times in my life that I hope I'm wrong. But again, just preparing for what is the eventuality of a pullback. So above 565 on SPY, yeah, it's a breakout. But more than likely, in my opinion, I think we reject and get down to 555. And if we break below that, then we can short again, possibly down to 550, which is our 50-day moving average. So we will see what is to come from the reaction of the Fed cut. We already know it's going to happen. Now the question is, how will the market react? That's the scary part. Let's go to NQ rather quickly, and you could see NQ kind of hovering around here. Gap to fill on the 15-minute. Why is that? Because we had a rollover of a contract. We're hitting some R here, 19,700. Again, this is just a contract rollover. I expect a pullback, actually. And these kind of changes, these gap ups, yeah, they usually fill. We had one back in June. Nice gap up, contract rollover, and pulled back and filled. Literally, what, 10 days later? So just a heads up, I expect us to get to right around 19,531 within a couple of weeks, if not this week. So just going to say it. I think that NASDAQ does pull back just on this contract. That's what we're looking at. Whoa, scary stuff. But it happens. IWM, we got an alert above or set up above 220. If we can get there, let's say 219.63. If we can get there, we have a small gap to fill on the 1 hour, 217. Keep an eye on that. So let's wait for 219. If we break that, we can do 222s, 221s. I like IWM still. Consider that upward wedge setup. We just need a breakout. Let's see if we can get above that. 226 being our money target. Now, how can I be long and short NQ, short of SPY, and yet long IWM? Again, pure technicals. This is all scenarios of what to expect. We don't know what's going to happen as of yet. Personally, what I think is that this is going to be a sell the news event on the Fed. I think the market's not going to get what it wants. I think we're going to get 25. If we get 50, I'm there with you celebrating. I just don't think we're going to get it. And I think we're going to reject. It's still September. September's a pain. The beginning of September was rough. And usually when the first couple of days of September are rough, the month is red. I know we had a really great week last week. And please don't blame me because I'm back from being sick that we pull back. It's just technicals, I promise. Pure technicals. I hope I'm wrong in that regard. Let's go and take a look at the week since I was out. Look how great the team did. Thank God it's not Carlos Sink, it's GAR Capital. September 9th and September 13th. JPM 40%. Great, great trading. This was not an easy week, to say the least. JPM 44%. Well done, Nick, for sending that. You could see Tesla, 240 calls. We caught that as well. If I can find the screenshot again. I was out. I didn't trade any of these. I messed up. I had a fever. And when you have a fever or you're really sick, it's the worst. I hate being sick. Tesla, great trade. All this was broken down on our watch list and charts. IWM hit 40%. NVIDIA hit 40%. That was a tough one. That was a wait. Microsoft hit 40%. The only one that didn't work out was Apple. Apple 230 calls. The iPhone event did not do much. You could see how Microsoft did. You could see how IWM did. Excellent, excellent work. We got your back. We're watching everything for you. And you could see all the breakdowns here on exactly what we were looking for. So this is why you have a team having your back, team. This is why you have GAR Capital, right? And not just me. It's the whole team working for you, helping you guys. This is excellent work. I'm so proud. Sometimes I feel like, man, maybe I should be out more often. It seems like we have better luck that way. So obviously I'm just kidding on that regard, but this makes me smile that even in a tough September month, which it has been, 84% win loss for the week, all we can focus on is what's in front of us. Let's continue this movement higher. Let's continue to keep winning. That's the goal. And it starts with today's morning notes. Let's make sure that we're prepared. But that is great work. Congratulations to the team. Congratulations to everyone who traded it. It's been a tough one because it takes a lot of patience. NVIDIA took a while to get there, by the way. So let's take a look at NVIDIA together. NVIDIA's pulling back now. I need 121 to break, but it's pulling back now. Oh, keep an eye on NVIDIA. Maybe 115 does come. And if it does, it's time to short. Maybe. We'll see. Again, I'm placing some alerts there. Again, I still have this expectation that the market's going to pull back. I still think we have a little more weakness, but you could see how it was just last Monday, right around 103. Wednesday's soar job, Thursday continuation, high as 120. You're talking about a $15 move in NVIDIA in 1 week, a couple days. Excellent, excellent work. Microsoft was a name that I wanted to short. Didn't have the alert for the breakdown. Needed to break 400. It didn't. And you could see a lovely, lovely recovery. If we break 430, 403, we're above the 50 now. Let's keep an eye on 445, 446 on Microsoft. Again, there's for every scenario out there. Yes, we could soar. Yes, we could fall. But again, all we're doing is making sure that whatever happens, we have an opportunity to trade it. If we tank, I'm ready. If we soar, I'm ready. So 430, 403 Microsoft, that's what I'm looking for. Beautiful bounce. You can see this upward channel here. We still got a little more to go, 485.93. But I remember when we talked about this in July, Microsoft was hitting some resistance, pulling back. And I got one more for you. Did you know that Costco has a higher price to earnings multiple than NVIDIA? That means Costco is more expensive than NVIDIA. Isn't that crazy? That of Mr. Growth Tech, Mr. Growth stock is literally NVIDIA. Everyone knows that. But yet, for some reason, Costco is more expensive. And again, I love me some Costco. I do. I love the store. I love what they got. I love all the things. I love all the pizza, the hot dog. It's my favorite. And I love the samples. It's a great company. I mean, Costco is the brand, in my opinion, that has the most loyalty. Think about that. I would say the only other one is probably Apple in my mind, but Costco sometimes it just gets ahead of us. You know, people start getting into these stocks and they just get expensive. I think Costco is worth selling here. I think we're going to get a pullback on Costco, very similar to that Microsoft. You could see this channel here starting to hit some resistance. If we break above 923.83, let's say 927, then it's a breakout. Then I'm wrong, which is fair. But I think we're going to get an opportunity to pull back here. 830. Keep an eye on Costco. I like $830. If we get there, the PE multiples reset, and that would be a great price to buy, just like in August when we were at $7.99. So Costco, I'm a bear just for now. It's just too expensive. It's a higher PE multiple than Nvidia. That is outrageous because Costco wishes that they had the growth prospects that Nvidia does. There's just sometimes, guys, there's just some imbalances. I love Costco, love the stock, but it just got too ahead of itself. All right. So looking to short Costco here. Let's keep an eye on the volume. I also talked about that on the watches and charts for our members. Here we go. Oh, I drew this line and all that. I mean, I drew this setup here, and you could say we want to see if we can fade this thing. So 927.87. This chart here is from FinViz. This looks a little better. That's why I liked it this way over the TOS. But again, very similar. You could see the RSI's right near 70, overbought. That's what I'm looking for. Costco, the big short to me. That's what I'm looking at. And that's where we are for the week. Apple's pulling back this morning. RTY pushing a little higher, but it's on a short-term time frame. Let me make sure I put this in an hourly time format. And then let's see if we can get NASDAQ here. NASDAQ pulling back a little bit. Remember, this is the contract rollover. So again, when we closed, we're right around 525. It says 19,704. Again, that is a new contract for December. We're about to get into OPEX on Friday. So TOS is rolling these contracts over in terms of what is the default view. So don't feel too confused. That gap will be filled, by the way. We've saw examples of when it happens. So that's where we are for the week. Let's see, what else did we trade this week? I think we traded Tesla. See if we get another opportunity to trade this one. Again, this downward channel that we talked about, like for example, in terms of Bitcoin, above 235.15. If Tesla breaks above that, I'm taking a look at 245. That is the gap to fill on the daily. So keep an eye on Tesla. There's your gap. 245. Break above 235.15. That is the target on Tesla. Let's see if that's going to be a mover this week. And JPM was one more that we played this week, but I'm going to keep an eye on JPM to the downside this time. Okay. Take a look at this. JPM, I posted this on the watches and charts. And you can say if things turn south, if we get below 199 or below 200, you could see downside action, possibly 199.80 or so. And you could see if we just draw the same lines. This is the daily chart. Yep. Now again, we could do this or we could do this. I mean, it could be as many lines as you want. So we could just do that instead. Remove this drawing. Oh, remove this drawing instead. And again, it's not always going to be perfect. You're going to have a little bit of a break above here and there, but we're starting to get very close. See if we can get below 198, 199. And if we do break down, we got 190 and possibly 180. That would be the lows of March. Now, again, that doesn't mean we're going to get there immediately, but you can see this upward channel. If we break down below, things get ugly. And again, in the alternative, if things do push higher, let's see if we get above 210, you could target 220. But I still expect JPM to pull back. It just looks like we're setting up for disappointment, and it happens. I think that the Fed is probably going to slow roll and just give us 25, and the market's not going to be happy. That's just what I expect. So I'm kind of setting myself up for that expectation of a pullback this week, especially with OPEX. This is one of the very few times that I'm wrong because I prefer the market to go higher than everyone's happy, right? All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for recapping the market with me. I don't expect much on a Monday. If anything, just positioning ahead of retail sales on Tuesday. And of course, Wednesday being the big day, the FOMC day. That's what we want to see. Throw inflation stuff out of the way. We don't care anymore. We're getting rate cuts. The question is, how much does the market get mad if it doesn't get what it wants? Will it get everything it wants? Will we absolutely levitate? This week will tell us everything we need to know. Have a great rest of your morning. I will see you guys on the morning note here at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. Cheers all.